What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Talkoffame podcast. I'm Kylie Montigny. Today's episode I'm super excited for because I'm having Huntly Plantz. Huntley is an actor that started his career at the age of 11. I've been following Huntley for almost, I think, probably a year now, probably, and I'm super excited to kind of learn more about him, his work, and everything. Like, Huntley, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It's such a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm really excited for today. So
Of
it'll be a
course.
lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. So I know we probably first off with interviews, you probably just get this question probably so many times that you probably say in your sleep. But what made you kind of decide to kind of be an actor?
Well, a few years ago, I always knew I wanted to be, in like doing something artsy. So
Hmm.
when I was younger, I was like, well, what are the possibilities for things that I can do? And I realized that in school I was doing well enough to have extra hobbies and extra things I can do. And my mom found a role, but it's just like an extra in a show. And we went because it was right by our house, so we decided why not. And we went, and then out of the crowd of extras, they picked me to have a larger role. And I had so much fun on set that time that things just sort of took off from there. And I knew that I wanted to be an actor, and I knew that this is sort of the industry I want to be in.
Hmm.
And it's been really exciting ever since. So
Ooh,
that's the
like
gist
did
of.
that film ever come out? Like did that like role like ever come out to like its release, or was it kind of like held back?
I think it did. I'm not entirely sure. I want to say it did, but I think it was just like they were just making like the pilot of a show, and then after the pilot it sort of stopped or something. I don't know if it like didn't get greenlit or something, but it was still really exciting, and I'll never forget it. The people on set were super nice though. The director has done some other stuff that is really exciting for him. So
Ooh, like to have your first role as an extra on a TV show in your area is probably the best way to kind of start out as the actor, as an actor, especially when you're so young, you know?
yeah, I mean, it was something that was really surprising to me, and they were all so nice on set. And it's just, I knew at that moment, I was like, okay, this is really fun. I should pursue this. And here
Oh,
I am. So,
yeah, and especially with being in the pandemic and like, well, 3 years into the pandemic now, but especially with headshots and self-tapes, like self-tapes kind of became very popular during the pandemic time. Like, do you think both of them play kind of a valid role or a huge part for actors, especially in the last like 3 years?
yeah, for sure. I mean, headshots and self tapes are very important. I mean, you have to have good headshots if because once the casting director looks at your pages, that's what they see. So you have to have headshots that, portray a wide variety of emotions that are very good and show you as a person. And if you don't have that, then the chance of you getting a role go way down. And then self tapes are so important. I mean, that's how you audition for things. And I've done so many self tapes. Uh, I've done a few in-person auditions. I do think I tend to prefer self-tapes because you can do it, a few times, make sure you get the best take that you can get. And
Mhm.
it's definitely something, practice makes perfect. More self-tapes you do, the better you get at them. And they are very, very important to an actor. So,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, it's like when I see a bunch of people like post online and say like, "Oh, we don't need headshots, self tapes are kind of not important." But I'm like, is that how you get roles? First of all, like,
Yeah, that is. If you want to get like a call back for sure. Yeah.
and like recently you just got into the NYU Performing Arts Industry Essentials program. Like, were you like the most excited about being in this program?
Oh, well, I'm most excited. It gives me something to do in my spare time, especially because, the strike's going on right now. So
Hmm.
there's been a lot less things to do, and I'm not allowed to do a lot of things. And
Hmm.
also, it's summer. So in my spare time, I've been working on that, which has been really exciting. So
Like, do you do that in person or do you do that like online?
it is an online thing. It's sort of like I don't want to say online class, but it's sort of along the lines of that. They're going over like the history of like theaters and things like that right now. So.
Ooh, that seems so fun. Like, especially with the writer's strike going on, it's like it causes like a lot of like actors, writers, directors, and the people in the industry to kind of like not do much projects. So to have like something on like your side plate to kind of do something and keep yourself busy is like, I say is super important to when the strike goes back and go back to like work and do what you love.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. I always need something to do or else I go crazy. So
Oh, same here, same here. If I'm
yeah.
like, if I don't have anything going on, whether it's like for a day or something, I'm like, please give me something to do so I won't go
Yeah.
crazy. Like, because I'm always like want to be on the go, and something when I'm on the go, I get stressed. I'm like, it's kind of like a win-win for both of them, though.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And like, what can you tell us about like your role in Events in Paradise?
Oh yeah, that was a really fun thing that I did not too long ago. We had to go to Charlotte, North Carolina, which is a really great city. We saw a lot of cool stuff there, and it's this. It's well, I can't really say too much about it, but I can say that people on set were great. It was a really fun experience. I play a kid who died, so which is I think it's my second time playing a kid who died. I don't know. Maybe that's my future playing dead kids, but I play, go to flashbacks and you see them and a bunch of stuff. Don't want to spoil it, but that was super fun. I really, really enjoyed that. It was one of my favorite things I've done so far in my career, and the people there are just so great. It was such a great experience. So,
Like, especially being in North Carolina, like, was that your first time there, or did you been there before?
well, I've been to North Carolina before, but I've never been to Charlotte before then. So,
Ooh, then what a great way to kind of like enjoy your first experience then.
yeah, for sure.
Like, how did like you bring your character Olive to life in Vending in Paradise?
Well, I sort of brought him to life. I mean, with practice and going over a lot of things with my coaches and practicing the character, talking with like the directors and the people behind like the camera on how they want me to play him. And it was tough because Oliver in the movie is he's a lot younger than I am, and I'm quite a bit older than him. So it was very tough to portray him because of his age, and I had to sort of act, a lot younger than I actually am, which was tough, especially with like, my voice is a bit more raspy, and he's a lot younger, so
Ooh, that had to be the changes. You had
that
like
was
bigger
tough.
voice now to kind of like squeak down a little bit, like.
Yeah, I don't know how well I did. I want to say I did a good job, but I have no idea. We'll have to see once it comes out. So
Oh yeah, I'll probably be the first one to say you did good, but who know? Like we'll have to see when it's released. But I'm saying you did pretty good though. But
maybe.
but like recently also like you've been working on a British accent for possible upcoming roles. Like how is that working out for you?
Oh yes, so I've been taking dialect classes and stuff recently. I have been practicing my British accent a lot. It's not quite perfect, but I think it's, it's getting there. It's getting there.
Mm-hmm.
Done a few stuff, but right now there's no like auditions I'm allowed to really do and nothing I can do. So I haven't been able to, put it to the test in an actual audition yet. But once the strike ends, then at that time I'm sure I'll use it a lot, and I can use plenty of other accents too. My coach is teaching me loads of stuff, and that's really exciting. I love learning new dialects. So,
Ooh, like what other languages are you learning besides British?
well, right now we're focusing on British and also like more Southern American, so like more
Ooh.
like like cowboy type.
Mm-hmm.
Not to
Yeah,
be
like,
stereotypical, but that's sort of like the gist we're going for that other one. And we have loads planned for the future because it's something that I just see myself, keep practicing, keep doing, and it's something I really enjoy doing. So
mhm.
might as well.
Yeah, and plus, if you go to that country or that part of the area, you can always just use your British accent to when, like, or whatever accent you're in. You can always use that to whatever place you're going, whether it's like Southern America, or Britain, or England or something. You can always pretend to be a Southern person or pretend British person.
Yeah, exactly. For sure. Yeah. That I mean, I've been to London once a while ago, but I didn't know the accent that I know now. back then. So if
Oh,
only.
I'm so jealous. You went to London. I always like that's probably like my dream place to go to. I love London so much. Like, do you like remember like your favorite place there? Or it's kind of like years ago, you don't remember.
Well, it was a few years ago, maybe like 3 or 4, definitely before like the pandemic happened, and I loved it. It was so fun. The whole experience is great. That might be my favorite trip I've ever been on. Probably. I can't think of anything that really rivals it, but I don't know what's my favorite place that I went to there. I'd have to give that some thought. But we did see a few really cool castles and stuff, and it's just such a like beautiful city. Wonderful.
Did
So.
you see the what's it called? The Queen's Castle down in downtown London?
Oh, yes, we did. Yeah, that was cool.
Oh, like I forgot the name. Even though I'm like a big royal family friend, like fan, I'm like it's always like I'm like I had to ask him if he's been there since I love the royal family. Since I'm like, oh my gosh, he went to London. But
Yeah.
like, can you say anything in British, or is it kind of like it's still working? Like you kind of like don't wanna like spoil anything for future things.
Well, I still can say something for sure, but I am still working on it. It's nowhere near perfect yet. And also when I do actually use it and like practice like, self-tape or a reel or something that I make, I sort of just take like a monologue and then convert it from like, normal how I speak into British using loads of techniques. And it's sort of hard to just spontaneously switch to being British, but I guess I can try saying like, I don't know, Aunt Martha went to London to get some tea, which is,
Oh, that was
you know,
really
not,
good.
I don't know how good that was, but it is very difficult and takes a lot of practice to learn, a new dialect. So.
Yeah, that was really good. Really, really good. And like, how did like I know like your mom kind of like is like played a big impact in like your love for travel, but like how did she kind of help you kind of build your love for traveling, whether it's like acting in a different state or locally? Like how did she kind of like build your love for it?
Well, I suppose, I mean, my mom has helped me with so many things. And yeah, with traveling, I mean, I've been traveling since I was really young, and that's a big part of with acting. And she's, given me so many opportunities to travel around before I even started acting, which I've been to some really cool places. And I think that I acting was a lot more interesting to me because you can travel to so many different places. And
Mhm.
because I've seen how, just how fun traveling is and how interesting it is, how much you can learn. I was very much more inclined to become an actor. And that's all thanks to, I guess, my parents for sure. So,
Like any chance I would have to like go traveling, whether it's like a different state or something, I'd definitely take it. Like I don't know why, but like I'm like a huge like travel geek because like any chance I get to travel, whether it's like for work or just like a little vacation time with family or something, I'll definitely take it. Just because like one, it's like meeting, going to new places and trying new food and then taking a culture around there.
yeah, for sure. I mean, traveling, it opens your eyes to so many cool things. So,
It absolutely
in
does. And
general.
like
Yeah.
with acting, like how do you kind of like develop like your acting skills and kind of grow as an actor with different things?
Well, I mean, I practice with so many different, coaches and people like that who've taught me so many techniques and things about acting that I I would not be the actor I am today without all those people. But then also, I mean, I suppose going on set and being in front of the camera, the more you do that, the better you get. The first
Mhm.
time I was on set, a bit nervous, and then eventually those nerves started to deteriorate and go away. And I think that the more I was on set, the more I got used to the environment. And the more I got used to the environment, the better of an actor I became. So it's really just a mix of practice and homing your skills into making them the best that they can be with.
Yeah, for sure. Because like the more you kind of get used to like working on a set or being an actor wearing lines or something, the more better like you kind of get adjusted to it, and also the more confidence you build in yourself into becoming an actor or as an actor, like growing your skills. Is the more like you do acting, whether it's like commercials, ads, roles, like movie roles, TV roles, or series roles, or whatever it is. It's like the more like you do it, I mean, I know everything is different in terms of roles, but I know like with doing multiple aspects of it, kind of grow your confidence into like doing like a drama character or a comedy character, or just trying something new in terms of acting and all these things.
Yeah, I mean, there's a very big variety of different roles and different things, and you have to learn sort of every type of role and practice for everything. And when I get an audition, I practice it loads and loads, make sure I have it the best of my ability, and then fingers crossed that I get it. But never know.
It's always a 50-50 chance that you get a callback or get the
Oh,
role. So
way less than 50-50. It's like it's very difficult. If I could like give, one piece of advice to like actors out there, it'd be, don't feel bad if you don't get a callback or don't get any auditions for a while because it is hard to get that kind of stuff.
yeah, because like with roles, like it's so hard to get them that like you'll probably get like one role at least a month. Because how hard it is. Like with like even if you
Yeah,
do like hundreds of auditions, you might only get one role out of the 300. Because how hard the industry is.
yeah, it's very difficult, but you can't be discouraged even if you don't get a role after so many self tapes. And then after a while, the more self tapes you do, the better you get, and then the more likely you are to get a role. So
Like you just never know. Like the better you be and the more auditions you do, the most likely you'll get a call back with how much
yeah,
time you're getting.
for sure. Yeah.
Like the last thing I wanted to ask you is if you could pursue a different field in industry, whether it's like acting, singing, directing, like what would it be?
I mean, for sure, directing. I have wanted to be a director since I was really little. Before I even thought about being an actor, I've always wanted to be a director. I'm really into that kind of stuff. And I think when I get older, definitely still pursue acting, but directing will also be something, on the checklist of things to do. So
Mm.
that would for sure be what I would also like to pursue.
Ooh, that's a good one. Like, would you ever consider like doing both acting and directing a project, or would you just rather like do one thing at a time and just go from like one acting project to like a directing project?
I would probably do both if I had the opportunity to. That sounds amazing. I think it'd be a bit more difficult to be both an actor and a director on like the same project, but still possible. And I definitely see myself being an actor and a director separately as well, though. So
Oh, that's like especially with like I know some people that did both, and like there's like one, it's like a hard thing to do, but it's also like experience to remember, like to do both at the same time is like combining two both things you love and making the thing come to life is like the best part probably about it.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's, directing's for sure on the bucket list. So
I can't wait to see if it happens though. Like I feel like
that
I'll
would
be
be
probably the
that would be
first guy
great
in
if it
line for it.
did.
I'll probably be first in line, but thank you so much, Huntly, for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it. I hope everyone enjoyed this episode, and it's such an honor to have Huntly on. And I can't wait to see everything you have planned. And I hope everyone's having a great day. And thank you so much, Huntly, for coming on the podcast. I really enjoyed talking with you.
Yeah, of course, anytime.
Of course, have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Bye.